Hey everybody, it's Safi and Marco, Dish Out on the Movies. And today we're doing a review, albeit it's late in the evening. All my fault, of course, it always is. Of Silent Night, Deadly Night 2. So it's the sequel to the first one. Now we had some discussion about how good it was, but then there was also some drawbacks or some problems, and like one question that I asked, and Marco pretty much knew the answer, but it was verified when we watched this, and that remember that there were two boys, one was an older brother and one was the little brother, and the little brother, when this horrible traumatizing event happened to them where their parents were killed by a Santa, the little brother was just a baby, like a crying baby who had to have his diaper changed, be fed. He wasn't a newborn, but he wasn't, there's no way that he could see anything that was going on and knew what was happening, except his parents weren't around anymore, and they ended up in this strange orphanage with nuns. And so that the second one starts off with, at the end of the first one, they showed a kid for about 5 seconds. He had very dark hair, and he had a really mean face. And they showed him at the end of when his brother got killed, because he was trying to kill everybody. He went crazy, and he's wearing a Santa suit. And they show this boy, like, 7, 8, and he had jet black hair. And Marco said, I bet that's the brother. But they don't say anything. They only show him for like a few minutes, and then that's the end of the movie. So here, the second movie starts years later.
Well, I would like to also quickly point out, I didn't think about this last review, but the ending is very similar to the Smile endings, because at the ending of both of those movies, or the endings, another character will get affected. At the end of the first one, it's the detective who gets killed at the beginning of the second one, spoiler alert, and then at the end of the second one, everyone in the whole audience of this concert sees her, so I guess that's like thousands of people who got affected. So it's kind of like the same thing and at the end of Silent Night, Deadly Night, where, now this one kid is going to get affected because he saw this horrible thing. Uh-oh! And so that's another comparison to Smile. Safi, do you like Smile? Do you remember the Smiles?
Yeah.
Those are a lot better.
Nobody talks about those, though. I don't understand why not.
I don't know either. I mean, those are some of the best modern horror movies ever. Both of them I really love equally. Well, I think the first one's better, but I love both a lot. And so I just thought I should mention that because that's interesting. I wonder if the director was inspired by Silent Night, Deadly Night, a little bit, at least.
Could be.
I haven't heard that he was, though, so, yeah.
So, because of that happening where he saw his, I didn't even think about that. Because, the reason why, that is the obvious thing you would think, okay? That, just like Marco said, the first boy saw his parents get killed right in front of him. Horrible stabbing and horrible. And he ends up in an orphanage. His little brother is a baby, a crying little baby who couldn't have seen or understood anything, except that he's no longer with the loving people that were embracing him and holding him, and he was no longer in his home. But I don't even know if he just knows it's different. I don't know how much an awareness a little baby, like 3 months or 2 months, would have about these things. And they're in this orphanage, so then, like I said, the older brother, he gets older, and he's traumatized, and they never deal with it. We brought that out, and so he ends up getting killed because he was trying to kill everybody else, and then of course
he just wanted to kill the Mother Superior.
Well, yeah,
he wouldn't have killed anyone else.
He wouldn't have killed any. Yeah, you're right. He wouldn't kill any children. Neither one, actually. No movie.
I think
no children were killed.
I think too, kind of a plot hole of the first movie is that I think that even though he's insane and that he's really gone off the rail, I don't think that he would have done anything in front of children. And so when he goes up to Mother Superior and he's going to kill her, I don't think he would have done anything realistically. Like, he would have wanted to kill her away from the children. You know, like in the earlier scene where he goes into that random house and he kills those two people, and then, you know, he talks to the little girl. You know, he didn't give her any indication of what he did or anything. And so, I mean, she'll probably discover them, maybe, but, like, he didn't do it in front of her. And so I think that's a bit of it. But that's the first one. You know, that's the first one, Safi. We're reviewing the second one now.
Okay, well, the second one, so Marco brings this up, and I didn't even think about it. That this second boy, I don't know if he's the same age as the first boy was when this horrible trauma happened to them. But this trauma happens, and so you know, at the beginning, or you know at the end, that probably he's going to be the killer in the follow-up movie, the sequel. And that's what happened. Now, the thing is, we don't really see the growing up of this boy in the second one. It just, well, they show...
I guess it's implied. Well, also...
It's implied, yeah.
What's important to mention is that the building they used for the orphanage got torn down after the first movie was made.
Really?
It was an abandoned school or something, and they used it just for that one movie, and then it got torn down, of course. And so, maybe they could... I don't know. Like, they said that they acted like they had no money, so, like, half of the second movie is a recall, or it's like a, what do you call it?
Flashback.
Recap.
Yeah, it's a recap.
It's a recap of the first movie.
So they basically just show the first movie for the first 40 minutes.
I just skipped past it all because it's like, I'm not sitting through that. Like, that's ridiculous, you know? Like, I don't want to watch, if I want to watch the first movie, I'll watch the first movie. You know?
Well, before the 40 minutes of recap, you have they show the boy. He's all grown up, and he's wearing what looks like prison clothes. Yeah. He has a blue, like a denim shirt, and wearing blue jeans, and he's smoking, and he has this aura of a prisoner, and you think, and so, he's talking to a psychologist, and so then you see that you don't know what happened and how he got to be there. And what I thought was so ironic was that here's this boy, after all the stuff that happens, and there's no psychological counseling or therapy. Now, after it's too late and all these people have been killed, and we don't even know what this kid did. He's an adult now. So what this adult second boy did, they get counseling. He's getting counseling. And what question did the psychologist ask him?
Is he really getting counseling, or did he say? I can't remember, but.
Well,
was it more of a thing to determine whether or not he was sane so that they could give him the death penalty or something? Because that wouldn't be considered counseling to me.
Right.
That would just be considered like the state trying to kill someone.
Yeah, that's probably what it was. That makes about 1,000 times more sense anyway. But the thing is, what does the doctor ask him? What's the very first thing he asked him?
I can't remember.
What happened when you were to your parents? And the kid, this kid was a baby.
I don't know,
he was
Doc.
a crying baby who had to be fed baby food, and he had diapers and slept most of the time.
No, Safi. He was like Boss Baby. He was already. Remember Boss Baby? Did you watch Boss Baby?
No, I didn't. But he's not a Boss Baby.
Maybe he
was in a car
was.
seat, a baby car seat. He was a baby. He was crying in a little blanket, and he had his fist up to his face. I didn't know what the F happened to his family.
He should have said, I don't know, Doc. They told me that they got killed by a Santa Claus. Huh! What a weird thing to happen on Christmas.
What was weird is why did he ask him something so stupid?
And you know something else? We still don't know what happened to the killer. We still don't know what happened to the Santa killer.
Yeah, the original Santa killer.
Who killed the parents. See, to me, if I was in the 80s, I would be doing some cocaine. And if I would make the sequel...
What are you talking
I
about?
said if I was in the 80s.
Okay, I'm not going to do these reviews. You're
If
going
I
to
was-
say stupid stuff.
If I was in the 80s...
Don't believe any BS he's saying.
If I was in the 80s, I would get caked up. I said cake, Safi, not cook.
Yeah, okay.
I like cake. You know, I have a birthday cake. And it has Wednesday on it. But you know what's really funny? Is that Wednesday's face is changing color. As the cake is... Like, it's really funny. Like, her face is, like, turning green. It's really funny. You know, it's like the cake is alive. It's like she's a living cake. Wouldn't that be funny? So that'd be a good movie. Like if someone possesses a cake, a birthday cake, and they've got to escape the person's house before they eat it on their birthday. That'd actually be kind of cool.
Okay.
What do you think of that, Safi?
Interesting thought, like a Twilight Zone episode.
Yeah. What was I? What was I?
Okay,
Oh,
we're
no.
talking about the boy who's an adult now. He's talking to the psychologist. Psychologist ask him a stupid fucking idiotic question.
If I would make a sequel to the first one, based off what happened in the first one, I would have the movie be about the brother trying to track down and kill the original Santa killer.
Yeah,
that would be a much better sequel.
We don't even hear anything about it. We don't see, and we don't hear. You know, you would think, they'll show a newspaper and maybe print the headline, Santa killer arrested, or whatever. Nope, nothing. Never hear a word. It's like it didn't happen. And that's not true, because that's where all the trauma began. It just shows, too, and well, this is a fake movie. In other words, it didn't really happen, but children when they get traumatized, they have to have therapy. It's just the way it is. And if it doesn't happen, it just grows into something ugly and awful, where they're going to hurt somebody else or they're going to hurt themselves. So, and of course, we just saw some evidence of that.
Well, and so
with the Reiner family.
So I would like to mention. I would like to mention that the actor who plays Ricky, which is the brother, the actor who plays Ricky, he is so bad as an actor. He is laughably bad. He's so bad that he's hilarious. I know that everyone already knows that this is one of the funniest good bad movies ever, but I just have to confirm that. You know, he has these eyes where he looks like a porno actor. You know, he looks like, what if Patrick Swayze had Down syndrome or something? You know, like there's something off about this guy.
Well, he's like a robot.
He's a big guy too. He's really big.
Yeah, he's worked out. He's very buff.
He could be, to me, I think he would be good as like the Hulk, you know, in Marvel. He would be a good Hulk, or the Thing for Fantastic Four. And so that's one of the biggest issues with this movie, though, is that he is terrible. And so, he's supposed to be scary. He's supposed to be like a, like a smart, like a smart killer. Like at one point, he talks about as a teenager, he was like in the forest and he saw this couple and this boyfriend was going to rape his girlfriend or something. And then he kills the guy. He runs him over when he goes to get a beer. And it's a very weird string of events. But after this whole flashback, the doctor writes down red car because there's a constant theme of red throughout this movie, the color red because of Santa Claus.
Well, it's funny. He's like a bull, and red sets him off. Yeah.
And so it's like red rum. And so, but when he writes down red car, Ricky comes up to him, and there's this really hilarious shot. I think it's probably one of the funniest lines of the movie. And he's like, red car, good point. And that's how he talks the whole movie. Like, it's so unnatural. Yeah. And I think this has been a big problem with a lot of actors that I've seen, is that when they're acting, it's like they're trying to act and they're trying to play a character and it doesn't come off naturally. But then when they're just talking, like normally, like in an interview, they're actually really good. And that's because of improper training, or they just need more practice. I don't know, but like that's a big issue. And I think that this actor, he's trying so hard. I want to know like what the direction was too. Like, act more evil, act more scary. Like, were people on set really taking this guy seriously? Like, after they finished like filming a shot, like red car, good point, would everyone on set like act like that was a really serious thing, or did everyone start laughing? Because I would have started laughing at him. What do you think, Safi?
Well, I was thinking about it, and I mean, that's another thing that I didn't think about when I was watching the movie. He may have been a baby, but it could be the color red, of course, and he should have been old enough to see color.
Yeah.
At first, when you're a baby, you don't see color. You see just black and white. And they have all these images to show them. They're like designs to kind of influence their mind and help with their brain development. But later on, if the color red, it might have been a trigger. So that was the thing I had one problem with during the movie is the other kid during his movie. I complained about the plot, but the thing is, when he was triggered, which was usually by a Santa, it was very noticeable. In fact, I would say the first kid in his movie was a better actor, because it was very obvious what triggered him, and it was very understandable. The second movie, so I wasn't even thinking that. I knew that sometimes the red would be a trigger, but
well, which one are you talking about? Because there were three actors. There was the kid, and then there was the teenager, and then there was the adult. So because I didn't like any of them. Any of the three actors who played the character. And I know that, the one is a kid, so he can't be fully blamed. But, I didn't like any of them. I thought all of them were terrible. They kind of brought down the movie.
They also, the second kid, he got disturbed by nuns. Because he got adopted by a family. And he was with the adopted mother in town, and she was shopping, and somebody ran into her and wanted to talk to her, and she said, "Can you just stand there for a moment, honey? Well, I talked to my friend about this thing, and so these nuns started coming down the street. I think they're going door to door to each business. It's like a Main Street business area, and they're probably getting donations or something for the orphanage. Who knows? But that's what it looked like. They were going in and out of places like they were getting something, a donation, trying to get a donation. And the kid was starting to get PTSD, starting to get anxiety. And he was saying, "Mom, please, would you come here and look?" And they would go into the store and then disappear. And when she would look, they wouldn't be there because they were inside the store. And then finally, when they were almost up on them, the mother finally recognized it and took them away. And then, I don't know, there was this big thing that maybe they should take them back to the orphanage. And like, what?
Oh yeah, he started to really get triggered by the color red. And after that, the parents took him back to the orphanage. I thought that was the most bizarre thing. Like, that kind of
happened in real life.
That reminded me of Problem Child, of course, which, Problem Child 1 and 2, those movies are masterpieces compared to these Silent Night, Deadly Night movies. But anyways, the movie kind of just is very, 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 bare basics, conventional.
Yeah.
Like where like someone takes you through their life and they're being interviewed. It's so lame. I would say that's the second big issue with this movie, is that the first one was so much fun. You had a toy store, you had a lot of tasteful nudity. You had a lot of violence, a lot of chopping, and blood and gore. You had a lot of things that horror fans like. You had interesting kills. You had a killer Santa who, he was pretty brutal and he was pretty cold, and he also there was great music in that movie. In this movie, they take all of the unique and fun aspects away. They strip all that away so that they can... I don't know what was going on in the making of this movie, because, I hate it. I hate to criticize. I hate to be mean to the movie, but it really feels like they slapped this thing together, and it's like, why? Like, why not try to make something that's really good? If you don't have a lot of money, then just make it all set in one location and make it more of a psychological thriller, and make it like a really serious movie, and try to, get a better writer or have someone else help with the writing a little bit and make a more like intense, suspenseful script. And you could have made a really good movie. I don't buy the excuse that, we didn't have any money to make a movie.
We just did a short. And we know when you don't have enough money, you can still make something pretty good. You might have to make some of the things yourself. And there's a lot of things that you can do to make it good.
Well, for instance...
as good as you can.
For instance, I had a special effect, and this isn't a spoiler, because I won't tell you for which character and why. There's a character whose face is... their face is revealed to have a monster... side of it. And originally I wrote in the script that he would tear off his skin, and so it would be like, oh look, I wear fake skin and this is what it looks like underneath. And I couldn't really figure out how to do that in time, and I couldn't really figure out the best way to do it with such a low budget and limited resources. And so I switched to, instead, he holds something in front of his face, and then when that thing gets taken away from his face, you already now see the new face. So in other words, you just cut from, his face without the monster thing on, and then the thing goes away from his face, and then there's the monster. And that was a good solution. That was a very creative, good solution. And I don't see why all these people who say, I didn't have the money to make a movie, why can't they just, like, think like that instead of being like, oh, I couldn't do the movie I wanted? You know, like, what movie did they want to make? Like, would it really have been any better than this crap? This crapola? What do you think, Safi?
I don't know. All I know is that I didn't think the actor was that bad. Like I said, the trigger stuff was not very well done. I mean, you could see it, but then it was just because Marco brought up another point that they showed him in different levels, in different ages, growing up. And so the triggers weren't all the same. That contrasted with the first movie when the trigger was a Santa, which made a lot of sense. In this movie, it was all over the place because it wasn't consistent. So anyway, he would, this last time, when after he kills the psychologist, and he just goes on this rampage, and he's not wearing a Santa suit, but he did in the end. But before that, he was just wearing his regular clothes, and he got a gun from, I guess he got it off of a cop that he had killed.
Yeah, well, what happens is, first off, he gets a girlfriend, and it's so hilarious because it almost feels like an after-school special. You know, he's narrating it. You know, we see this really hilarious, like, sex scene where, you know, it looks like such a weird setup. You know, like, everything is dark except for them, and it almost just looks like a fantasy, like in the first one, which they had a similar scene. And he's saying, like, I thought it was, it was my first time. I thought it was hers, too. You know, like, that's how he talked the whole movie.
He did, and that's not real either.
Yeah.
And that, when you have things like that, and that's a simple thing, that's his tone of voice.
So, this is their relationship. They have sex, and then they go to the movies to watch the first movie. That was another weird thing that didn't make any sense. It also kind of felt like, you know, like, really? Like, you didn't need that. Like, that did not work. I don't know what kind of point they were trying to make there. All they had to do, by the way, is just recreate that scene from the first movie, and then you could say this is a movie based off of what happened. But even then, oh no, we don't have the money to do that. We don't have any money. We just have to, you know, we could still make half of a movie somehow, but we don't have the money. And so, then in the movie theater, conveniently, is an old boyfriend who looks like Kiefer Sutherland of The Girlfriends. And he comes up to her, and he implies that they've had sex before, which is like, oh no! Ah! You know, it's not like she has a really high body count. You know, she just, I guess, has been with the one guy. So, you know, she's not like all these modern women. And so, you know, he really kind of overreacted. And, you know, what happens is later on, the old boyfriend comes back, and he literally gets set off, Ricky, the main guy, he gets set off because he finds out that she wasn't a virgin.
Well, the other guy tells him that the other guy's a piece of crap.
It's so funny.
And he's I mean, you can see why she wouldn't want to be with him.
Yeah.
But she's not very smart. You know, it was very funny how she was portrayed. Because initially, she seemed real sweet and really nice. And she didn't say much.
Yeah,
but then
and that's the key.
After the movie theater
that's the key.
She was trash.
Yeah.
And I thought that was too bad.
But I thought it was too bad too because I thought she was really good.
Yeah, I thought she would be a really good. In fact, they could have made where she was his girlfriend for the rest of the movie, and then. But he's so screwed up that he goes off and she can't do anything to help him.
Or she could have become a killer too So then you could have had Mr. and Mrs. Santa Claus killers. Because I thought she was the best part of the movie. And then so he finds out she's not a virgin. He really overreacts. He throws a tantrum. It's so funny because it feels like it almost doesn't feel real. Like it feels like it was made in a laboratory or something. Like it feels like it was made by AI. That's how bad it is. And he kills the boyfriend, the old boyfriend, and then his girlfriend, she's so stupid she starts taunting him after he commits this horrible murder.
And well, the way he did it was so unhinged.
Yeah.
And so you would think if she was smart,
she
run away. Have further unhinge him.
Yeah.
Because she put herself in mortal danger.
Because she taunts him, and then he goes after her, and she's like, "Uh-oh!" and she runs away.
Her 2 seconds.
And the funny thing is that when he kills her, he's strangling her, and for some reason, I don't know if Safi noticed this.
What?
But
the wire thing?
His eyes almost look like they're cross-eyed, like they're looking in on each other. Like it looks so funny, the way that he looks when he's killing her. And again, he looks like Patrick Swayze, but born different. And there wouldn't be anything wrong with Patrick Swayze if he was born different, because Patrick Swayze was one of a kind. Patrick Swayze would have been really good in this movie. If he was the main guy, he would have been really, really good, because you would have really sympathized with him. You wouldn't want him to turn into the killer. That would have been a lot better.
And he would have been blondish.
Yeah.
This guy, his hair was jet black.
Yeah.
And if you remember his parents, the father had like brown hair, but like a light brown hair. His mother was a blonde.
Yeah.
So it didn't make any sense that he had jet black hair. So that was another thing. To me, he reminded me of a robot.
Yeah, he was like a robot.
Out of control. Like Robbie the robot was crazy. Or an alien.
He also looks like a Simpsons character. The way that his eyes are so... In this whole sequence, he goes on this rampage. It's kind of like GTA. It's kind of like Grand Theft Auto, where you're just going around shooting everybody. And he's laughing. He's doing this like maniacal laugh, like ha 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 ha. It's like, yeah, that's not good. I don't know what the direction was there, but it felt like someone was purposefully trying to make him look bad. But he kept on like he would like bulge his eyes. He would make them as big as possible, so he looked like a Simpsons character to me in that whole sequence. What do you think, Safi? Safi thought it was scary.
I just thought he made me think of a robot.
You said he was like Michael Myers, too.
Yeah, he reminded me of Michael Myers.
He could be Michael Myers.
Because he didn't really go into any in-depth conversation.
He did say garbage day.
He just said he would just do like 1 or 2 lines. It's not his fault. That was the script that was given to him.
Garbage day! That's obviously... That
was like cute little one-liners.
That was incredible. I laughed at that for like 10 minutes straight. And then there's another moment where a little girl runs into him on her little tricycle. And I would like to point out, she did something bad there. Like, she did something you could say is technically naughty. And then he does not harm her at all because she's a kid. And so again, this guy has both of the killers, they're not going to harm children.
No, if that was another thing. Every time something happened where he was triggered, he would go, naughty, like a robot. Naughty.
Naughty.
And so, but no, that was the saving grace, at least for that part of the movie, that neither he nor his brother killed any children.
So eventually what ends up happening is that the police go after him, and he finds Mother Superior, who she recently had a stroke and she retired.
What was wrong with her face?
But for some reason she has like this horrible facial disfigurement, and I don't think it was the actress that they got that had like a real disfigurement. You know, obviously
it happened. Did it happen when
that
guy got killed? That's what I was thinking. Maybe I missed something.
Nothing happened. Like, her face looked like, and I would not make fun of her if she had a real disfigurement. But you know what I'm saying is, in the context of the movie, it did not make any sense.
Nope.
She had half of her face looked like Emperor Palpatine, which I actually thought it fit her really well, because again, I would say her character is just as evil as the guy who killed the parents in the first movie. You know, Safi neglected to mention, or she just didn't say, even though Ricky did not see his parents get killed, he had to endure growing up with this woman.
Oh, yeah.
This abusive Mother Superior. And that would traumatize anybody.
Well, the thing is, when I was growing up, I'm not Catholic. I didn't go to Catholic school. But you would hear this thing from Catholic kids who had been in a school, and they would complain about getting their knuckles rapped with a ruler. They did something wrong, and there's something about girls not being able to wear patent leather shoes, which that was a thing when we were growing up. If you dressed up, a girl like wearing a dress, because we didn't wear pants for a long time. We wore dresses to school. If the patent leather, or that's leather that's very shiny, so it would reflect up your underwear, and they'd get in trouble in school, Catholic school, for wearing these patent leather shoes. So they and then there's another knuckle wrapping there, and so I've heard this, and I've heard this my whole life. Like, people who were, when they were kids growing up, they had some kind of bad nun experience, and you know, I didn't go to Catholic school, so I mean, I couldn't verify that.
Oh,
but
you did. That's
a thing.
You did. You were in a school that had child abuse as a part of the
I went to school where they had spanking with a big wooden paddle. But the only people that were getting spanked, and I say spanked in quotes because that was abuse.
Yeah.
They were boys who were like little hoodlums who were, they were terrorized.
What'd they do?
Terrorizing the class.
What'd they do?
Just being so disruptive that nobody could learn anything.
Oh.
And they even have to call police, so.
Oh, no.
And, but it still was abusive.
Yeah.
I'm thinking about one person in particular. I think he's dead now. I think he died an early death. He had polio. He had grown up and got afflicted with polio.
Oh, no.
Yeah, being immunized with polio vaccine, that's just not a thing you should do.
Did he get the vaccine?
No, they didn't have it then.
Oh, no.
They didn't have it when...
RFK killed Safi's classmate.
Well, no, he had that. He had gotten that when he was a little child, before the vaccine came out.
RFK Jr. killed Safi's classmate.
Well,
what was his name?
Why
don't you summon his spirit?
His name was Russell.
Oh, I feel the spirit of Russell.
Okay, let's just continue, okay?
Why?
Anyway, but we did have that. We didn't have nuns. We had corporal punishment. So, I mean, when people talk about that nowadays, about bringing that back, that's just BS.
Well,
don't even listen to that.
It's always so hilarious because you have a bunch of these adults who are like, back in my day, we got abused as children and we turned out just fine. You know? Like, That's what they
Nobody
like to say.
Nobody else was getting that.
I got abused as a child, and I turned out just fine.
There's another boy I remember in my class who got that too.
You know.
And he was given a, quote, spanking, and he's dead now too. He was weird, but anyway, I won't talk about that anymore. It's sad, but
God,
back to the
Safi.
movie.
Well, he finds Mother Superior, and he kills her. He chops off her head, and I gotta
Which we
say,
don't see or know.
yeah, we do
Did
not
that right
see
away.
it. They try to do the stupid psycho thing where, you know, the someone goes up to her and it's like, is she alive? Is she dead? What's going on? And then she touches her and the head falls off. I did like the part where he chases her. Obviously, his acting
That was good.
was terrible, but I thought it was a good chase.
She was in a wheelchair.
A good mini chase. Yeah, that was a good part.
And that was a good. That was probably the best part of the movie, I think,
Yeah.
because she, she was keeping him from opening the door by slamming her wheelchair against it, and that would prevent it. It's a big, heavy wheelchair, and it prevented it from coming open.
That was creative.
Yeah, and she even at the end, of course, why a person in a wheelchair would live in a building with a huge flight of stairs.
Yeah.
And she fell down, of course, fell down the stairs, and the wheelchair fell down.
I do appreciate the fact, too, that she was such a horrible person that they made her go through all of that and she still gets killed. I thought that was great.
I thought she was going to get away, but Marco had told me
She
that
deserved
she would
it.
die a terrible death.
She deserved it.
But I think didn't she get back in the wheelchair when it came down the steps?
Yeah.
And she got up?
She might have gotten in another one. I can't remember. No, yeah, he axed her wheelchair and she fell down the stairs, so she had to get into another wheelchair that was, around.
Oh, okay. So there's more than one. Okay. Yeah. I was trying to remember, but all that part, if you want to watch this just to see, because this is like a horror thing. She's trying to get away, and she's in a wheelchair, and she's had a stroke. and he's got an axe. And he's threatening to kill her, so that was pretty horrifying. And it's probably, and I would think that's the best part of the movie.
And then he gets killed, or he doesn't, I guess, because he does this little smile at the end. And so, overall, this movie was weird. Again, it felt like an after-school special. The whole thing where the guy's like, I thought my girlfriend was a virgin like me. That part was weird. And then the part where they're at the movie together, and then they're in the neighborhood, and he goes on like a GTA rampage. It didn't feel like it should have felt. It didn't feel like a horror movie. It felt like a comedy. It felt almost like an AI fantasy comedy or something. And I think it should have just been a lot simpler, a lot tighter, like just one location, a bunch of actors, take it seriously, get a different actor, keep the girl because she was good, and then really focus in on making something psychological like Psycho or something like that. Like something that isn't like this, because to make a slasher, it needs to follow, it needs to be better than this. This was not a good slasher, So, Safi, what do you have to say about Silent Night, Deadly Night 2?
I don't know, I'm trying to think of a review.
Well, I don't have a food review yet.
And I would just think if you, we have the thing at McDonald's where Marco, and we may have already given a review of this to something else, but I just would say this probably is pretty appropriate. Marco found out that when you order a fish fillet at McDonald's,
Yeah.
you get half of a slice. Like, you know how American cheese is in square slices?
Yeah.
Well, you get half of one of those square slices on the fish fillet now.
And it didn't used to be like that. You used to get a full slice of cheese on your fish fillet.
Right.
So that is a recent addition that they have done. That's a recent thing.
But it's not too recent because it's been at least a year.
A couple of years.
Yeah.
That they've been sabotaging the fish fillet. And you can order, if you order extra cheese, they will put the full slice on the fish fillet.
And the taste is so much better.
Yeah.
With that whole slice. It's funny because I mean it can make all the difference in the world with the flavor, and if the fish is cooked perfectly. Now today we got that, but I don't think the fish was cooked because we went to a different McDonald's and the fish was not cooked as well. It was cooked. It was overcooked a little bit in some spots, like the other McDonald's that we usually go to. Now this sounds so queer, but the thing is, this movie is kind of like that. It's kind of like a horror movie with half a slice of cheese. And if it had the whole slice, or you should say more, and I would say like the other one, but it's in a different way. Attention to detail. And it just improving some of the simplest things and making them better. It would be better. And that's what the fish fillet is. You're getting the whole slice of cheese, and that's a very simple thing to do, and that makes it so much better.
The only catch is you have to pay for the extra cheese. You have to pay 70 cents more for another part of a slice of cheese. Or I guess 2, I don't know. But anyways, my review, I'm not going to stick with fast food, because I feel like, especially Safi, she likes to use fast food in her food reviews a lot.
Well, I don't really eat a lot of different things because everything makes me sick.
Well, you have to use your creativity, and you have to think about all types of food.
In your brain, I guess.
Oh, this movie is escargot with chocolate on it. So anyways, my review is last year, for years, or for the last couple of years, we've been going to this one market to get my birthday cakes. And in 2022, they gave me, I think, the best birthday cake I ever had, which was an American Horror Story themed cake. And they decorated it so well. They literally did an entire face of the clown from American Horror Story Season 4. And they did the font. They did the American Horror Story font. And they put so much creativity into it. I was so excited because I thought, I'm going to get a themed birthday cake every year from this place. Because they got really excited. They decorated it and used their creativity. And the next year, I can't remember what I got. It was 2023, I got a Winona Ryder cake. And it was kind of a downgrade because it was basically just her picture and some, minimal decoration. No, that was 2023. And then last year, I wanted to get a really cool, creative Nosferatu cake. I wanted to get something, because if I decorated it, I could think of a million cool ideas to decorate it, to do all these cool things. Like, you could just recreate his coffin on the top of the cake. You could do, so many different things. You could do the girl, there's the scene in the trailer where she had the blood coming out of her eyes and her mouth. You could have done her face on the cake. You could have done all sorts of cool things. And for some reason, all they did was print out a picture or decorate like a really, really lazy picture of Nosferatu's shadow on the wall. I know it's Count Orlok, his shadow on the wall in the original movie because of quote-unquote licensing issues. And so this year, I wanted to get a Wednesday cake because I like getting like Halloween-y horror type of cakes. And so I tried getting that, and Safi said they couldn't handle it because of quote-unquote licensing issues, and so we had to go to a different place.
But it was closer, so it was a lot better.
And
Very close.
And so this movie is the Nosferatu cake I got last year because it tasted really good. Like, this is a fun movie to laugh at. It's a terrible movie. It's a very good bad movie, but it is still a bad movie. And last year's cake was a bad cake because they just slapped it together. They didn't put any effort into it. I don't know what's going on over there. It's like, come on. Like, that's your whole job is to bake and to decorate cakes and shit. Like, put some fucking creativity. I don't understand. Like, it seems like ever since 2022, they cannot put any effort into decorating cakes.
Well, I'm wondering if they lost their decorator.
I don't know.
They had to hire a new one who wasn't as good.
Or who just doesn't want to decorate because, there's no decoration that they put on the cakes now. So we got a better cake elsewhere this year.
And it was when I didn't have to drive a million miles away.
Well, Safi?
So that's it. So if you like this video, give it a thumbs up.
And you have to smash the like button.
And make a comment. Would you like to see a picture of Marco's cake this year? Because he'd be happy to post it. I think you should. Because you can see what it looks like. I had wanted flowers on it. And they didn't do it.
Yeah, I don't want to ask for too many things because I know that these cake decorators can't handle it. But all I wanted was a picture of Wednesday and some flowers and then purple and black as the colors. And there were no flowers.
Oh, that's okay. But Marco will post a picture of it on our site.
Yeah,
you all can see.
And it was still really good, so.
It's a very good cake, though.
And lastly, we highly encourage you to check out our Patreon page. It has bonus content, including commentaries, reviews, rankings, vlogs, and also my short film, which released in October. And if you want to see a really fun short film, you could have a lot of fun with it. It's in black and white, and it's in color. And there is an hour and 40 minutes of behind-the-scenes video. So, yeah. Safi?
So, that's it. So...
Oh, yeah, we have 770 subscribers now, so... Yeah.
So, I'm going to have to sign off now.
Yeah, Safi's going to fall asleep.
I'm really tired, and I'm missing something, but I'll probably pass out while it's on. So, goodbye, everybody.
Bye.